Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is DiffTheEnder, and I'm here to run through with you the preseason update. So I'm just having a quick look through it, and I thought I'd take you along with it. I'll have several parts to this video as I take you through the items, the jungle, the masteries, and some of the spells, just so it's easier for you to access the content. So firstly, we'll start off with looking at the new items. So Riot's been very kind to us and laid this all out, and I'm extremely glad that they've done this. Now, firstly, you'll see that there's a lot of active items. Active items, I believe, bring a lot of interesting play to the game, regardless of what their active is, and it increases the skill ceiling while keeping the skill floor very low, which is what Riot's extremely good at. And let's see what they are. Firstly, we have Shard of True Ice. The Shard of True Ice is a Soul Shroud upgrade. So basically, it gives you ability power on top of the mana regen aura. Actually, let me see if we can zoom in on this here. It's quite odd looking, but it works. So you get mana regen as an aura, and Gopatin, since there's a lucky pick in the recipe, and 45 ability power. It's nice. And the most interesting is the active, as I mentioned. You can surround an ally with a blizzard for 4 seconds that slows nearby enemy movement speed by 30%. Think of this as a Lulu ult after the initial knockup. So you've got a little zone around your carry, most likely, that will slow any enemies near them. So this helps quite a lot when you have a carry like Vayne who needs to have bruisers off of her. So she's low range and she can't afford to have anyone near her. So throwing this active on her will save her. So that's a good support item. As you'll see, there's a lot of support items coming. Next, we have Liandry's Torment. Now, this is an upgrade to Haunting Guise after many months and years of asking. Haunting Guise finally has a late game upgrade. So I've got 70 ability power, which is very significant, as you may imagine, and you've got 200 health. Now, most importantly with Haunting Guise is always the passives. So we've still got the Magic Penetration, which is now called Eyes of Pain. And you've got spell damage that burns the enemies for 5% of their current health as magic damage over 3 seconds. This is very similar to the Blackfire Torch that was introduced on Twisted Tree Line. However, in addition to that effect, the passive is now doubled if the enemy's movement is impaired. So snare, slow, stun as well, I believe. So that'll double that spell damage. So when you have champions like Teemo, for example, who might sometimes build a Phage or a Frozen Mallet, they will benefit quite a bit from this passive. However, it is half duration for multi-target or periodic fix. So Teemo is primarily a damage over time champion. So it's half a duration, but if you got a Frozen Mallet, you can pretty much constantly reapply it. So that's Liandry's Torment. It's a crying little face. Next we have Mikhails Crucible, which is extremely powerful. Now it upgrades from Chalice of Harmony and a Mana Crystal, so items that supports benefit from, which is good. So 300 mana, 40 magic resist. So it's great against AP heavy teams. And here's that same passive, 1% per mana, which is now called Mana Font. And the active is the most amazing bit on this. For 2200 gold, you have a Quicksilver Sash as well as a Heal Summer spell on a 3-minute cooldown as an active on this item. So what you can do is any ally who gets CC'd, God forbid, you can cleanse them, so just clear it, and heal them for 150 plus 15% of their missing health. So that's a cleanse and a heal on an ally. However, keep in mind that it's got a 3-minute cooldown, and in solo queue and in a normal, maybe your support is not skilled enough to give you this, to cast the active on you as soon as they should. So extremely strong in the right hands, useless in the wrong hands. Then you've got Static Shiv. Now this is an upgrade to Zeal and Avarice Blade, so starts off with Gopatin, but the Gopatin is removed once you upgrade. You get attack speed, crit chance, and movement speed. With those stats, it sounds similar to Phantom Dancer, and It is. It's imagine a fusion between the Phantom Dancer and the Ionic Spark, and that's what this is. Um, then we've got Iceborn Gauntlet, which is an extremely strong item. So it goes from Glacial Shroud and Sheen. So that itself should hint at you to what it's doing. It's extremely expensive, 3,400. It gives you ability power, mana, armor, and CDR. But here's the passive, which is amazing. After using an ability, on top of doing the Sheen's double damage, it also slows enemies around your target. So the easiest way to imagine this is Malphite's W allows them to do some splash damage. Now imagine if that splash AoE also slowed people. That's what this is, and it's on a 2-second cooldown, which means it's similar to a Frozen Mallet AoE, is the easiest way to describe it. Go try it out in a custom, I'd say, before you, or watch a video. It's quite good, however it's very expensive, so I expect to see this built on people like Malphite top lane. Then you've got the 2 Tiamat remakes. So you've got Tiamat and Vamp Scepter, which now builds out of Longsword, upgrading to Ravenous Hydra. So a lot of attack damage, 75, 15 health regen per 5, and 10% lifesteal. Lifesteal's being nerfed heavily in this patch. I mean, you can't even buy the Vamp Scepter anymore. You gotta get Longsword into a Vamp Scepter. So that hurts AD carries quite a bit. So this item, it cleaves enemies around your target. So it's like Tiamat, except people closer to your target take 60% of damage, and people near the edge take 20%. So it's a decaying damage splash. You also got an active, which increases the splash damage, and it's on a 10-second cooldown, so it's just spammable in lane. So every time you want to trade, I guess, or you want to push the lane, you can just do whatever you want in 10 seconds. So that's the melee alternative of the Tiamat upgrade. Now we've got the ranged upgrade, and this doesn't build out of Tiamat. And what it gives is 70% attack speed, which I believe is the highest attack speed item in the game as of that patch. And your basic attacks fire 2 minor bolts at nearby targets. So imagine Lulu's Q, how it comes from Pix and herself. So you got kind of 2 little jets of light shooting out. That's how this works. So you got your basic attack, and you got 2 little jets of light that go next to your target and apply your on-hit ability. So and attack damage. So it'll apply Varus's Blight passive, Vayne's Silver Bolts as well, I believe. Honestly, I really can't say how strong this will be. It will really depend on how other people are building, like, you know, the top line bruisers and enemy AD carries. I mean, you can't really say what the new build order is going to be. However, it has the potential to be extremely strong in the right hands. I'm really not willing to commit on much more of this. It's strange item, strong item. Then you've got Mercurial Scimitar. So this once again is an upgrade to an item we already have, and it upgrades from QSS and a BF sword. And it gives attack damage and magic resist. Great. And it gives you the QSS active. So this basically lets your AD carry do more damage. So usually right now we've got a 6-item AD carry with Boots, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, and they've got 1 defensive item, which may be a Garden Angel or QSS. So this allows your 6th item as well to be defensive as well as offensive, which is a great thing. And it's quite expensive too. And then we've got Oathbreaker, which is 4 to 5, which is the old Summoner spell, if you remember, which disables nearby enemy turrets. This does something similar. It gives you health, mana, and armor, builds out of Catalyst, which is always a nice thing. And it prevents the closest enemy tower from attacking for 2.5 seconds. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, so it'll only be used on the occasional large siege. And it's helpful for diving. It's good for those assassins who want to jump in and burst, or the very bursty teams will enjoy this as they can get 2.5 seconds of invulnerability as such from towers as they dive. It's a nice name too, Oathbreaker. And you got Twin Shadows. This is an extremely fun item. It's a support item again, built out of Lucky Pick and All Magic Mantle. Ability power, magic resistance, and movement speed. You'll notice that a lot of these support items are now giving ability power, so supports actually do a bit of damage now. So which is great for support players. scary for AD carries because now they've got less movement speed because the Phantom Dancer nerfs, and the enemy support does more damage, so it's a bit scary for them. The active on this is the most amazing thing. It's called Hunt, it seems. It sends out two little wraiths. Imagine Wraith Camp to two little wraiths. Sends them out, and about the range of from your fountain to the edge of your base, these little wraiths will go out like sniffer dogs and find enemies. So it's extremely helpful when you're trying to in an extended fight and an enemy is trying to bush juke you, or just is in a jungle but you don't know where in your jungle. You just turn this on and your two little sniffer wraiths will find them and reveal them and slow them. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, so important to activate only when necessary. However, very powerful and extremely fun watching your little sniffer wraiths go around. Mora Mana and Seraph's Embrace. So these are both upgrades to the Tear of the Goddess items. So Mora Mana comes from the Mana Moon upgrade. So as you can see, it gives attack damage, mana regen. These don't cost any money. These just upgrade once your Mana Moon or Archangel Staff hit a certain barrier. Like, let's say, I think it was 750 max mana or 1000 max mana. I can't remember. However, it automatically upgrades, no extra cost, and you get an extra active on the item. So for Mora Mana, you can toggle on extra damage. So you can drain 3% of your current mana to deal 6% of your mana as magic damage on every spell or attack. Single target, should I say. And Seraph's Embrace gains an active where you can drain 25% of your current mana to shield yourself with that same amount. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, so once every team fight late game. And imagine this on a Rise. So Rise has around 4k mana late game. He activates this at the start of a fight. He gains a 1k shield, which is the same as around an Evelyn ultimate. So quite significant and powerful. So Rise will be enjoying this item. Then you got Zephyr, which is a great item as well. Okay, so it gives you attack speed, movement speed, and attack damage. And it gives you CDR as well, so great for those AD casters. And gives you the Merctrade passive, Tenacity. All around a great item. I think I'll be bulling this on, let's see here, Jax maybe. Okay, we'll see. And then you've got Runeic Bulwark, which is an upgrade to Aegis of the Legion. So, upgrades from Aegis and all Magic Mantle. And it's effectively the same. It's just increased auras, increased cost, however, no more damage aura. Simple. Then you've got Sightstone and Ruby Sightstone. Let's start with Sightstone. Sightstone is 700. It's basically your one-stop ward item. You get 100 health, which isn't much, but it's nice anyway for your gold. And you get 4 charges every time you visit your shop. Each charge is a ward, so you can consume some of those 4 charges to place wards. However, you can only have 2 of those wards at once. When your support bot lane buys this, he's going to have your Tribush and the River warded, so that's 2 wards right there, and he can have that constantly warded because 2 rounds of 2, that's 6 minutes. 6 minutes of ward guaranteed. And usually you'll be shopping every 6 to 10 minutes, so if he buys 1 extra ward, he should be covered. So bot lane is going to be extremely visible on the map as a result of this item. And you've got an upgrade to it, Ruby Sightstone, which is Sightstone adds some more HP with the Ruby Crystal, and that's what happens. Except now you get 5 charges, and you can have 3 wards placed, which is a nice upgrade. No gold pertain on this item, though, which might be a... What's the opposite of incentive? I can't think of the word. And then you've got Crystalline Flask. Oh, what did I do here? There we go. Crystalline Flask, which is another active item. Similar to the ward refilling every time you go to the store, this fills you up on health and mana. 3 charges, and each of them is a tiny bit weaker than a health potion, but its cost is easily offset by mid game, as you can sell back the item, whereas usually you don't with health and mana potion. So this is a great item early game that you just buy and consume throughout the course of the game. Great item. I'm going to be buying it quite a lot. Hunter's Machete is the jungler item. You've got increased damage to monsters and true damage to monsters. So I think every jungler is going to be buying this. I can't think of a single jungler who can jungle without this efficiently compared to other junglers. I might have to consult with Stonewall on that. You're going to be seeing this built a lot. Standard start. Not much more to it. Banner of Command is like a promote. Gives you ability, power, and armor. And nearby allies gain 10 health regen. And your active is you transform a nearby siege minion into a more powerful unit. And you gain all the gold this unit earns. So, I don't know. I think the only person I see buying this is Heimerdinger. It's a Heimerdinger item. Banner of Heim. And Seraph's Embrace, already covered that. So that's all the new items listed on this page from the preseason update. I'll have a few more videos coming up within the course of the next 2 days covering adjusted items, the jungle, and summoner spells. I hope you enjoyed that. Looking forward to some more. Cheers, DiffTheEnder. Signing out.